Monday night, it's RaceSpotTV. Welcome back to another round yet again here from Suzuka Raceway in Japan. Bringing you round 4 of all the action at its Rachel Rifle in this Prostrom. And right now, Tom Edwards has set an absolute stomp over lap there. He's just been the first of our cars to dip in there. Sorry, Simon Edwards. To dip into that 22.7 bracket. Before that, Claire Hughes had a great lap that he put in, and they were the only two guys in the 222 bracket. And looking for a very competitive one here. Tom Ward up there as well. S.J. Dunning, Anthony Catt. Tom Ward just sticks it right on top there at the last second now. We're coming into the final moments here of qualifying. I'm judging by this one, Linus. This is probably the last lap after this one. So we'll see what they can put in.
I think it is. It's about 10 seconds left on the clock. So Tom Ward is on his last charge, but he just pulled over, so he is done for the day.
Edwards is
on the lap. Edwards is at the beginning of a lap, so he might be able to pull something out here. He's got 3.5 minutes, so everybody's going to be able to finish whatever lap they are on. As we're on board with Simon Edwards right now, and he has got S.J. Dunning behind him as well, and Dunning is currently in 6th. So if Edwards puts it on pole, there's a big risk that S.J. Dunning is going to take it straight away. And as you can see, he loses it, and Dunning almost gets hit, but Dunning is still on a lap. So well, that was unfortunate for Simon Edwards, but Dunning can still do something because he obviously got the draft at the beginning of the lap, but he will not have it all the way down to 130R at the end of the lap, so that's definitely going to hurt him.
We'll see how that affects him. Of course, Ben Daniels on a lap as well. He's between cars. Anthony PM Jones also out there as well, and I think Matt Cox is too. So those are our top 10 guys still out of the racetrack, but we're kind of a little early to discuss points yet. But the points are, of course, always a factor, Linus, in this series. Always end up being related and important. So let's take a quick look at where this one is panning out for the moment. So far, looking at our standings, it's going to be... Oh, great. Thank you for not showing things up properly, Dan Lisa. That's very helpful when I click that button.
It's Anthony Catt currently leading anyway, with 3 top 5 finishes. Yes. 15 points ahead of Simon Edwards, who had a terrible first round.
Yeah, and then he's got 2 wins. Page up for me. Yes, he has got 2 wins indeed. We've got Ben Daniels in 3rd place with Ewan Patterson in 4th. Clay Hughes in 5th place, so compared to the fact he was running for a championship last season, hope to see him higher sooner, actually. Daniel Tufts is a good one up in 6th place right now. Cox is there, Streetley and Martin joint 9th with Clark Williams, and Tom Ward is 11th. Oh, will that eventually be 10th? We'll have to see how he fares in this race, but Tom Ward only has 1 start. So we're hoping to see better things from him. Right now, not in a phenomenal position, though. We'll have to see how he can play his way forwards. He's had some struggles finishing some races in previous seasons. He's had 1 start this season. It's a good enough result, but will we see him actually take this for the win? Right now, it's looking like his pole time will not be beaten, but can he survive to the end of this? And we've got 11 laps here tonight, Linus. He's got a habit of going hard.
Well, he really does, and if he starts up front, he's definitely got a chance. But this is a track with one really long straightaway where a lot of passing can be done, and we saw that last time around here. If you're in 2nd place, you're definitely going to be leading into 130R, so it's not going to be easy for him. But and he's got no drop weeks left either, so if he's planning on running the rest of the season, he's going to have to finish. So I wonder if he's keeping that in the back of his mind, or if he's just going to go flat out and do anything he can to win the race.
Have we ever seen anything but flat out and try and win the race from Tom Ward? It seems to be his modus operandi, as it were. But checkered flags out on the session, and we've not had any change in those times. So I think we are going to be done here. Dunning, Daniels, Jones, Cox, all back on pit road now. So we're really just counting down his time now until we switch over to our grid session. We're going to go through your starting order. Pole tonight is Tom Ward with Simon Edwards in 2nd place, Claire Hughes in 3rd, Anthony Catt in 4th, and Daniel Tufts in 5th. Behind them is S.J. Dunning in 6th place with Ben Daniels, Anthony PM Jones, Matt Cox, and Clark Williams. Behind that it is P11, Ewan Patterson, Lee Anderson, Andrew Tutley, Peter Cowan, Graham Carroll, Nicholas Thornton Roberts, Troy Goatley, as the sun comes out over Suzuka all of a sudden, Gary Tall, Dave Kirkman, and John Torpy. Great to see Gary Tall back in the races. We've not seen him for some time, but my gosh, it's suddenly got very bright here.
Yeah, it's went from very overcast in qualifying to very sunny here for the race, so that's going to be a big change for the drivers. See how they can cope with that.
Oh, huge.
Especially early on in the race.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they can get used to those tyres. They could be pretty slippery on the first lap, so we'll have to see what these Skippys could do with this. But as it stands, our top 5 there are going to be a tough one. Ward, Edwards, Hughes, Cat and Tufts. They're going to do what they can to bring this one home for us today. 11 laps of racing around this 3.61 mile circuit here in Japan, and hopefully brings us fantastic racing. Any picks for tonight, Linus?
Simon Edwards has been looking strong, and he's really clever with his racing, especially on these kinds of tracks. So I think he's going to be able to get a 3rd straight win on the season.
Looking forward to seeing how that one goes forwards, and we'll see if he can in fact do that. Out the front, you'll see the drivers all taking their positions for the start of this race. Tom Ward there, and Simon Edwards last 2 to the grid. It's a big grid tonight, 46 cars on the field. Looking forward to seeing how this one plays forward. Paul Smith not qualifying, starts from the very back. We'll see where he ends up, of course. And it's a good start as the flag drops into the first corner. This, what is essentially a double apex right, Linus. A big funnel into one and then tightens for the exit there of 2. Ward leads Edwards through. It's side by side behind Tufts and Dunning. It's through the filter, no real changes yet, and everyone through 1 and 2 cleanly mostly at the moment. We've got a car round further back.
Off, and they almost run into the back of him, trying to figure out how that is. 1 car flipping, wow, that's Robertson might be in that.
17 car.
Graham Carroll is in that, Chris J. Robertson is out as well.
Robertson was the car that initiated it. He actually got loose himself. We'll have a look at that there.
And Daniel's involved as well here, as you can see on the replay. Everybody just piling in, 1 car going upside down, being pushed and flipping over and over. Wow, that's one of the few start crashes we've seen this year in this series. That's pretty rare actually for these guys to do that.
Really is, of course, as the top 4 breaking away now. Ward, Edwards, Hughes and Cat pulling away now from Tufts and Dunning just behind them. Those 2, of course, side by side, which cost them a bit of time, but that first lap cluster really did make things a little dramatic for the mid to rear pack. So that one really extended, but the front 4 now, they've really pulled a gap already. A huge
There's another
gap.
pile up under the bridge here. There's a ton of cars. What's going on in this race? Everybody's crashing out.
Oh God, you're right. Yes, Lee Anderson's in this one as well. Oh, look what happened to him.
Wow.
But loads of cars ran wide for your first Degner, and a couple of cars tried to rejoin. Oh, a car rejoined. That's what happened. I'm trying to see the number now. 37 rejoined. I don't think he really wanted to, but I think that's what happened for him anyway. I'm trying to work out who the 37 machine is there, but he comes back onto the track under the bridge. It's Devon Nobis, who was off wide in the grass, and he couldn't really avoid it. He ran wide on Degner 2, lost the back end, it brought him back onto the track, collected there by the car of the 72, which just led to complete chaos. Hefford had nowhere to go, bang, and suddenly it's a massive car flipping pile up as everyone's collecting into this thing. This is like watching rookie street stocks on a road course. This is not normal Monday night. It seems like the entirety of the pack behind our leaders are gone.
And cars, everybody's going off. Stevenson in the grass gets hit. Wow.
But we weren't looking at, of course, at the 130R run before, but of course, as we expected, we've seen Edwards pass. But now Ward passing back against him on the start-finish straight here, so this is changing the dynamic already. But of course, it did happen after the start-finish line, so that's going to be one to take into effect for later. As this top 6 now is 1.1 seconds. Actually, no, they're on the first lap, they are now 9 seconds ahead of 7th place. The top 6 are now 9 seconds ahead after a lap. This is crazy.
7th place, Christopher Kelsey, he started 26th.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've got guys from Paul Smith from 45th. By surviving all of this, is gone from not qualifying, started 45th. He is now 12th. This is how crazy this race is getting already. But Paul Smith from 45th, the first and only non-qualifier, is in 12th place already. We've got a car running off. That's him going down the gravel. He's screwing up, Paul. Don't do this to us. But he is back on track and he's running, which is the important part. He's going to drop a few spots, but you know what? He can afford to at this point.
Yeah, well, okay. Top 6 though, still running. Top 6 to start, still running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ward in the lead ahead of Edwards and Lee Hughes. Cat in 6th with Dunning in 5th, and Tuff's trying to keep up back there, but well, these are the 6 guys we're going to have to keep an eye on in this race, I guess. Because it's the only guy still running, pretty much. Wow. Well, here he comes again out of the spoon curve. It's Ward in the lead, Edwards right on the back of him, though. He's going to look up the inside, and he is going to get alongside him really, really early here, and he's going to clear him well before the crossover bridge even. And Lee Hughes closing up on Ward as well. Edwards just moves in front. Lee Hughes is not going to try and make a move, and Cat is getting really close behind as well. He's going to stay in line, but that was a very easy pass for Simon Edwards. Coming down into the last chicane, see if Ward can get him back this time before the line. That's going to be really, really important coming to the end of the race. But we're only on lap 2 so far, so a lot of things can happen. Here he comes, going to tuck right in behind him, try and get a run, but he's actually going to drop off. So Edwards has got higher speed on the straightaway. That's really interesting. Ward can't do anything as he moves out of line, and it looks like he lifts off as well, because here comes Lee Hughes with the head of steam, and he lifts off early as well. Nobody's trying to make a pass. That's a bit different.
Will say though, interesting to think though, we've seen that Tom Ward has been always very vanilla with his setups, where we've seen Edwards experimenting a lot this season. He's tried different setups, and I think he's maybe going for a setup that's faster at a straight line, perhaps worse in the corners, but straight line speed is what matters at Suzuka.
Yeah, it really is, and I mean, for the SSR where you see the cars now, you can't really make a pass, so if you're a tenth or two slower than the cars behind you through here, you're not really in danger. You'll just be stacking them up, so that could be a very smart move from Simon Edwards, because Ward had no chance to catch him down the front straightaway. Maybe he didn't want to pass, or maybe Edwards is just fast. We'll have to see as they come into the hairpin here now soon again under the bridge, and Daniel Tufts has really dropped off these guys now. It's a 5-car race. He's closing in on Ward, but he can't really get quite close enough to make a move here. Edwards goes a little wide on the exit, but he's going to still have the momentum. Ward can't really close the gap enough as we're coming through 200R here up towards Spoon Curve, which will lead us back onto the massive back straightaway. He's going to inch closer and closer as we get closer to the corner, but Edwards is much later on the brakes as well, so that's definitely going to help him. He goes wide though, but he keeps the grip in the car, so going to have the slightly better exit, but Ward should get the run. He's going to try and look to the inside. Edwards is just going to move over to the right. Ward is going to pass him, but he's not going to make it quite as quick as Edwards did. He is going to make it though into 130R. They're going to be single file once again, and well,
they certainly are. Yeah, Tom Ward is holding that one for now, but Simon Edwards perhaps going to experiment this time with the run up the start finish line. Ward got a little bobbly there out of the Casio triangle, as we'll see a good run here by Simon Edwards. He's already gaining, but here comes Clay Hughes as well. Hughes definitely desperate to get something going here. He does, and look at this big passing opportunity now, as we might even see Clay Hughes look for it too as he comes up closing now. Can he take advantage? It's not likely, but cleared by the first corner. Simon Edwards returns to the lead for turn 1.
I have a strange feeling that this is what is going to keep on going until about the last 2 or 3 laps. Ward and Edwards just going to keep on swapping positions back and forth, and the other guys are just going to sit back there and watch. But
gonna have a quick replay up actually from Paul Smith's Twitch channel here. Of course, he's one of our guys, so we'll just quickly pull this one up here. But this is what happened to Paul Smith on lap 1, how he went from 45th to 12th place, and you can see a lot of carnage dodging. And the green flag is there, of course, for him as you watch this now. This is exactly the chaos he got to witness. Linus, that is, wow.
It's a lot of cars in front of him.
Very lot of cars in front of him, and then not many cars in front of him as well.
He's actually made up pretty much 5 positions up until turn 1 alone. Takes it easy on the inside. You can see people don't really expect to have too much grip here, and then there's cars flipping on the left. One just takes off. He's made up another 5 positions. You can see on the bottom there of the screen it says how many positions he's passed, how many cars he's passed. He's up to 11 so far. In through the SS, drifts a bit wide into the gravel. And then there's a ton of cars wrecked in front of him. Where is he going to go? Straight through the middle, just follow the other cars. And that is another 9 cars just like that. Up to 22 now. 23. 2 cars on the outside. Wow. He's not really doing much, he's just staying on track, and that's just giving him all the positions. Oh, big wobble. He managed to hold it. Another couple of cars off the track, 1 car flipping. Whoa, that was close. Okay, 32
for him. Yeah, this is insane for Paul Smith as he dodges everything going in every direction here. Oh, the rejoins, the craziness, the flipping cars. He must be having a way... Look at the face on him. He looks like he's having the drive of his life there.
32 positions in half a lap. That's massive. Well, meanwhile, Tom Ward is back in the lead. Simon Edwards, though, got the draft on him, coming down towards the front straightaway. Down towards the first turn. I mean, he's going to look to the outside this time. That's interesting. But he's going to just clear Tom Ward before the braking zone even arrives. So it's just these two swapping positions, and then use Cat and Dunning staying behind him. And Tufts is now 5.5 seconds behind these guys. So he's just hoping for things to go wrong. As we're looking a bit further back here, we got Tony Stack and Neil Jackson racing for P12 and P13 coming down into turn number 1. As Jackson looking to the outside, here comes Smith as well now. Looking on the inside, he's going to go back up to P13 actually. That's a nice move from passing Neil Jackson there, and now he's going to set his sights on Tony Stack in P number 12.
Absolutely is. Stack did try to get through there, but he just lost those 2 spots, of course, to Jackson and co. Paul Smith back up with this group as well. He's definitely involved now, so he's going to have a chance to recoup his positions. Back to 14, so he's only up 31 spots. I mean, only. But I can see him reaching the front of this group. He's been very fast so far, so we'll see how he plays out. But at the front, it's still Edwards from Tom Ward, from Hughes, Cat and Dunning. We appear to have dropped Tufts, as whilst Dunning is with that front group. Yeah, Tufts dropped back. He's now running with Kirkman, as there's some lap traffic also with that factor there. But we'll see this run to 130 Arlenas here on lap 5. Whether we'll see Tom Ward make the move, or is he going to try and hold position? It's an interesting one to see.
He's probably going to just draft right past him. We'll have to see here. He gets you can see Edwards, he pulls away at the start on the exit there. He's got a lot better speed coming onto the straightaway. But then when they get up to speed, there's nothing he can do. Tom Ward has no air on his car. It just speeds him right up. But he's going to stay behind this time. He gets to the back of Edwards, and then he just lifts off. Here comes Lee Hughes. He gets right up to the back of him. Obviously not going to try and make a pass, and Anthony Catch stays in 4th. So that's interesting from Tom Ward, that he chose to stay behind him. But maybe he didn't catch him quickly enough, or he wants to try something coming out of the last chicane here onto the straightaway, but he's not going to be able to get him before the line anyway. So well, that was interesting.
Yeah, absolutely is, and Tom Ward goes for it there. But it's a very interesting position to be put into with this for those guys, because they're going to have to play that last lap battle, and it always comes down to this at Suzuka, Linus, is that the guys have to choose whether they want to take the risk for waiting for that last pass, whether they want to try and get it done, whether they think they can hold it. So it's a waiting game. Do you try and just stay in the front hoping you can hold them off at run to 130, or do you sit in second knowing you'll make the pass?
Well, I'm not sure, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 3 or 4 seasons ago at this very track, we had 2 cars that pulled a 7-second lead, and nobody wanted to lead on the last lap. 3rd place ended up catching them because of it. So you can't be too careful, because you'll just end up getting passed by other people. And in this position where they have 3 other cars behind them, they just gotta go as fast as they can and hope that they are in 2nd place coming out of Spoon Curve on the last lap to lead into 130R, and then hopefully not have a dive bomb coming into the Casio Triangle.
Absolutely, and as they come now through the hairpin there, Tom Ward still leading this race, has been for most of it. We'll have to see how his defense game goes, but this isn't really one of those tracks where we see a lot of side-by-side racing, Linus, so it's just a game with the right pass at the right time. And they're going to come through 200R now, down towards Spoon. And we did see last time by, Edwards had a bit of a sloppier car for Spoon in the last race here last season towards the end. His car really wasn't handling as great. He was running wide a few times and it cost him time, but right now the car seems to be dialed up at a lot faster straight line. Look how quickly he pulls it behind him and goes for it. That's instant.
Yeah, he gets up right to the back of him straight away, and he's just going to pull right past him. Here comes Lee Hughes as well, but he's going to back out and stay in third, so just let Edwards and Ward swap between the first and second position. Maybe he'll try something on the last lap, but for now he's just going to stay back there. And here comes Cat. He misses his braking point, locks up a bit, but he's going to be able to hold on to fourth. He's not going to hit Lee Hughes. He gets a bit wobbly out of the chicane, so Anthony Cat might be able to move into third here anyway. He's going to have quicker exit, but he's just going to move out of the draft, so these guys just looks like they're happy sitting third, fourth and fifth. They're not doing anything.
As they know,
just stays behind Edwards as well.
Holding on there. He wants to put himself in that position here as we're on lap 7 now. Coming down towards the last few laps here, it's really about positioning yourself to take that win when it comes to opportunity, Linus, and I think we definitely see the separation here where Edwards and Ward are going to be the two fighting for it, but it seems as though whilst Hughes does drag up a few times, gets right up to the back of them, he tends to not get as heavily involved.
Yeah, he, I don't know, he just seems to be taking it very, very easy, so just biding his time, waiting, trying to be there right at the end and not doing too much. Meanwhile, on the last lap through 130R, we had an incident between Tetley and Kirkman, where Kirkman just went off and hit the barrier, and he's out of the race from 7th position. It's very unfortunate. See if we might be able to get a replay of that, I'm not sure. Meanwhile, Simon Edwards is still in the lead ahead of Tom Ward, and they have pulled a massive gap now down to Lee Hughes. He's 1 second back. Cat and Dunning fighting for 4th and 5th, so it's really spreading out.
Yeah, absolutely always is. So making sure they get themselves into a really advantageous position, Linus, coming towards the end of this race. They really want to make sure they're in that spot where they can take advantage in those last few draft passes.
Yeah, they really got to try and catch up now, though, because if Ward and Edwards keeps working together, they're just going to pull away. Here comes Ward. He's not going to make a move, and Cat is going to stay behind Hughes as well, so no big difference going to be made this time. But they're really going to start working together, Cat and Hughes as well now, so they can catch this front two, because otherwise they'll just be disappearing, because they're not quite within drafting range now. 1 second they might have it slightly, but those front two cars, they seem to be a little bit quicker, so they might be able to pull out enough of a gap here on this lap. They actually lost about half a tenth though, but they didn't make the pass on a straightaway, so that could have been a key. And Ward stays behind Edwards again here, so Ward definitely playing the defensive game, wanting to be second on the last lap, but like I said before, that can lead to these guys behind catching right back up and making the pass, and him losing positions rather than getting into the lead.
Absolutely is, of course. And Hughes really pushing himself to get this one. He's, after last season, I think Hughes really owes it to himself to put himself in that title position again, Linus, and with where he is at the points right now after 4 rounds, he's not really doing that. So you think he's going to change his focus?
Well, possibly. I mean, Tom Ward definitely hasn't got any room for error if he's going to run the rest of the season, so he needs to play this smart. And meanwhile, Edwards obviously coming off 2 wins. He can afford not to win this one, but obviously he wants to, so it's both of them obviously wants to win the race.
Oh, big crash, Keeble.
Oh,
just
where are we?
Completely pinwheeled out of the track there. Coming into Casio Triangle, cuts across the nose of the 88 and just rolls himself into the gravel trap and across the road and into the Armco.
Get a replay up of that here. He just brakes a little bit late, make contact coming around, and his rear wheel just clips the front wheel of the other car. So that was unfortunate. Just straight out. Wow. Meanwhile,
completely chaotic move there.
is gonna put another attempt on Simon Edwards here, coming out of Spoon down the long back straightaway, where you can see Edwards has the better speed coming onto the straightaway, and at this point, if they're reversed, Edwards has already made the pass, but Tom Wood is barely even closing up, so
interesting
don't know
to see
if
this.
he's holding back or if he just cannot catch him. And the same is happening behind, where Kat is staying behind Lee Hughes, pulling a bit more of a gap on Dunning now, who's struggling to keep up. So this is almost turning into NASCAR tandem drafting.
Well, we see this, Linus, that Tom Wood can make the passes. He just does it on the front straight rather than 130R. So I think right now he's just wanting to hold himself in a position where he can save that pass opportunity. If you look here, he chooses to lead here. I don't understand this. He chooses to be the one that leads after the stripe. So maybe in this case he will try and this time not try and pass Tom Ward on the 130R, so he'll save it for the time he does pass him. I'm not sure. It's an awkward thing to look at, but I think he knows that maybe his car is not quite as fast on that particular straight, but has more opportunity running to the final corner. It's going to be interesting to tell as we're on lap 9 here now. Right now we've got 31 cars still in the lead lap. How far has Paul Smith worked his way up the list?
He's dropped back down
16th,
to 16th.
But not a bad result still, all the same, for 45th. He's doing a good job.
He really has, and right in front of him we got Cowan, Stack and Ruth Jones almost on top of each other here, 13th, 14th and 15th coming into turn number 1. That's going to be Stack moving to the outside of Jackson, but he's not going to make the move. He's going to back him behind. So this is a 6-car group as we have one car going wide. I believe that might be a lapped car in front of him that goes wide and out of the way. That is Adrian Fraguela in 32nd, who just gets out of the way. So it's a 5-car group battling from 11th down to 15th. And ahead of them, James Child pretty alone in 10th. So no real battles. It's this 5-car group here, and the 4 guys at the front. That's pretty much the only battles we have.
This tends to happen though. We see a lot of separation in this series, particularly the guys find a way of spreading out and running on their own for the most part, and it's a race of attrition for a lot of guys, hoping they're not the one that crashes. But we do tend to get a couple of good packs of racing, and Savage leads this one with some pretty big names in it, to be fair. Savage, Cowan, Jackson, Stack, Ruth Jones. It's a good group of drivers here who tend to have a good run. As just look a little bit further forwards, and I thought I saw nope, that's not him at all, so do ignore me on that one, but that is not the driver I thought it was. Now look at this, the pass here. Clay Hughes looking to try and push it now into 130. Contact with Tom Ward. There we go.
He saves it. Wow,
big save, but that is a huge moment there, as this time Hughes put his nose in and wasn't going to leave it, and Tom Ward squeezed him off the track a little bit actually, and well, contact was made. Ward got a bit of a dink-a-donk, straightens himself out after the second contact, but lost a lot of spots there, as now it's going to be Hughes up to second place, Cat up into third, and Tom Ward's trying to catch up after working out what happened there. I think that must have been an accidental contact, but that changed the entire dynamic.
Well, coming to 2 laps to go, Lee Hughes is definitely not wanting to sit back in third anymore. He gets the chance to be on the inside through 130R. He's going to take it, and he definitely did. So coming into the S's now for the second to last time. Cat and Ward are only a second back, so if they start battling for the lead here, they could easily close in with the draft on the straightaway. So it's definitely not over for Cat and Ward, but Ward is now down to 4th, so he's going to have to do a massive job on the last lap if he's going to have a chance to win this one. Simon Edwards though in the lead. Lee Hughes all over the back of him, and well, from what we saw there, he's definitely going to try and make the move coming down towards 130R on this lap.
I think he certainly is, of course, and this will put us onto that final lap after this one. So we are in that green-white checker situation, which is a road course, not really a road course thing, but it is definitely a thing here. White flag this time by, and it's going to really matter where you position yourself, like you're saying, Linus. And Edwards and Hughes, which we thought would be a battle between Edwards and Ward, but Ward could try and struggle back to try and get himself into a position here if he can make a pass on Cat. But we know from the Skippys, P2 gets a big draft versus P1, but 3 doesn't tend to get a big draft over 2, because 2's got tow from 1. So we only really see the leader getting jumped on in these situations rather than everybody. So it might be hard for Tom Ward to make these spots up there as Cat runs wide
in the background.
No, it wasn't Edwards, that was Cat.
The Cat, sorry.
Yep, as Edwards now running up the straight here. We'll see what happens with himself and Clay Hughes.
Oh, he's going to do the IndyCar line, snaking down the straightaway. Lee Hughes is not catching him enough, though. Maybe he wants to sit in second onto the last lap. Here he comes. Nope. He's going to look to the outside. Wow, that's brave. Oh, contact, and he's going to get it. Or is he? He's going to hold it. Wow, what a pass. Here comes Cat as well. Going to be on the inside into the Casio triangle. Edwards late on the brake. He's going to be side by side through the chicane. Oh, my God. What's happening?
This is amazing racing. Oh, my God. Claire Hughes bullying his way through to the lead. He wants this and he will not wait for any man. Claire Hughes, the Welsh driver, well, it's like watching rugby. Another Welsh pastime like racing.
Edwards is forced to make a move here as well. He can't sit back in second, so he's going to have to be the leader coming out of Spoon.
Not what he wanted. Unless this happens.
It. Oh, and Ward gets through.
Oh,
and he hits Claire Hughes. Oh my God.
This is getting crazy,
How?
boys and girls. That nearly took out everybody beside Edwards, and that would have been an amazing way to deal with that. But unfortunately, the cat's in the litter box, and Claire Hughes now second place to Edwards. Tom Ward back there in third. Who knows what damage those two have got? I can't even tell if they picked up any damage, because all those contacts were wheel contacts, so they could be fine, they could be not fine. It's hard to tell. We look back at the group with Stack, though, as behind them we've got racing side by side again.
Cat is back up and running in 5th place, right behind Dunning, so he's not out of it just yet. But they're still going. Lee Hughes is closing in on Edwards. He goes a little bit wide underneath the bridge, though, but he stays on track.
Yeah, we absolutely are, and this one's definitely been a little on the crazy side. As my gosh, we're getting right into the end of this thing, Linus. The lead group there are all low for each other. Edwards still holding this as tight as he can through 200. Keeps pushing it. Claire Hughes is going to be in a great position here to attack up to 130R, but what can he do to defend it? Can he do anything to defend against this move?
Well,
or is it going to be a one and done?
Hughes needs to be a little bit closer here on the exit, I would guess. And Edwards gets a much better exit. He opens up that gap. Here he comes, Lee Hughes. What is he going to do? We know he's not afraid to put it on the outside if he has to. Maybe he's going to wait to the Casio triangle to put a dive bomb on him. Edwards goes defensive. Here he comes. He moves to the inside. They're side by side on the entry. Edwards on the outside. Oh, they're not going to make contact. He gets loose.
No, he might hold it still. He's got the inside line, of course, for the Casio triangle. This is going to be a huge finish here as Ward's ready to pick up whatever drops in this one.
He keeps it on the outside, though.
Oh, my gosh, again, so tight, and he has the inside line here. Simon Edwards now through the final corner as we come close to the massive result of this one, and it's going to be Tom Ward in second place.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. I think that was Edwards that won with Ward in second.
It was.
I can't tell. That was insane.
Dunning just managed to beat Cat, and well, 6th place is still far from done.
I can't clap because I only have one hand pressing my microphone, but
oh, we got a crash.
Work.
Peter Cowan is off in 130R along with Tony Stack, so his race is well, he's going to keep on going, but he's going to lose a lot of positions on the last lap. We get a replay of that. Well, they just get together. Cowan on the inside, Stack on the outside. Stack turns into Cowan, I believe, and just sends him off. That's unfortunate.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that definitely changes the tone of things. But what if we've not had a finale like that to a Monday Night Skippers race in quite some time, Linus? These guys turned it up tonight, as I believe. But I don't believe I've actually seen the racing that hard, and it was clean but hard. There was contact, but it was respectful. They gave each other space, and that's how racing should be.
Yeah, it really was. It was a bit messy on the first lap for some reason, but Japanese tarmac obviously doesn't provide very much grip, as we know it from before. And other than that, it was really, really good racing, and Lee Hughes definitely spiced it up at the front as well. Unfortunately for him, he ended up only finishing 3rd, but he definitely did what he could to make a good race for us. And well, let's go to our post-race results.
Yeah, so that indeed. We've got Simon Evans for the win here tonight. Tom Ward in second place with Claire Hughes in third. SJ Dunning, Anthony Catt, Daniel Tufts, Andy Tetley, Kelsey, Adcock, and Child, your top 10. Behind them, of course, it is going to be the drivers of James Ruth Jones with Keith, Neil A. Jackson, Paul Smith in 13th from 45th. That's insane. Peter Cowan, Tony Stack. Peter Cowan, even after his crash there, Ben Daniels in 16th with James McRitchie, Ray Pearsley, John Torpy and Simon Mulby in 20th. The rest of those results up on your screen. As Linus, I think that was one of my favourite races at Suzuka. It's a track that I've not always liked, and it's gotten a bit formulaic, but they made that an exciting race.
Yeah, they really did, and wow, what a crazy race. It's it looked like it was going to spread out for a bit there, but then they just came right back up to each other because of the long draft, and it was pretty interesting to see Tom Ward and his tactics not passing Simon Edwards to try and pull them away from the 3 guys behind them, but in the end they finished 1-2 anyway. And well, Lee Hughes, what a man. I hope he's going to keep on doing that for the rest of the season, just throwing it at them, doing everything he can to win, because that definitely spiced things up, and I don't think Edwards or Ward was expecting it, so
absolutely not.
We're in for a really good season.
Oh, I completely agree with you. That was insanity. And so hopefully we'll get a chance to chat to Simon Edwards here and talk about that last lap, because that was absolutely crazy. But wow, still kind of dealing with that one mentally. We had a phenomenal result there with just crazy driving. But in general, this is one of those races, I think, where we had those 2 packs really of cars that were running. We had the first through 6th place, and we had that second group, which was, I believe, towards 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th sort of place. But everybody else, even though we had 45 cars, Linus, was just spread out, and it's a 3.5 mile track. It was just car.
Yeah, it's I think the craziness of the first lap played into that. The people that got hit and taken out in that just got going one by one, and then they just kept on going at pretty much the same pace. And you saw Paul Smith went from 45th, he passed 2 cars on the first lap alone from pretty much not doing anything other than staying on the track. So that pretty much sums up how the start of this race was. And it's weird, because we usually don't have any crashes on the first lap in this series apart from 1 or 2 cars, and now we had 30 cars crashing in 5 different locations. So we had 3 seasons worth of start crashes in one race.
We absolutely did. And well, one man who didn't see a crash at the start, but I think he was expecting one at the end, is Simon Edwards. First off, how was the end of that last lap for you? That looked insane from our perspective.
Yeah, that was insane. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, sorry, I screwed up my config. That was a bit insane. Like you said, Clear said he thought the second last lap was the last lap, so he was going for my outside, and I stupidly looked over to him in VR, and I shunted him, but luckily we got away with that. But yeah, that last lap was a bit nuts, wasn't it?
It was absolutely crazy. I mean, the whole race in general was a pretty, should we say, crazy race. It was a lot of busyness going on, you and Tom Ward, and then everything that happened there. But has this track been particularly tricky for this car since they changed?
It's not been too bad in the week, but there's something about the weather today makes those first couple of laps they're like ice.
It did seem to change from qualifying to suddenly it was really sunny and bright out.
Yeah, it didn't help much. I wish it would, because we were still in morning conditions, but it was somebody had greased the track up. But it was good fun once you got 2 laps under your belt and you breathed, then it wasn't too bad and we could manage it.
Well, there you go. Anybody like to thank for the race today? Coming home today, of course, with the victory, which we haven't mentioned yet. Congratulations on that one.
Yeah, nobody to thank today, other than my sponsor that hasn't given me full permission yet to release their names. So,
well, we look forward to hearing in the future.
But at least they'll know I'm talking about them. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, unnamed sponsor, for sponsoring this wonderful driver. Simon was one of the fastest guys in the series, who I'm sure will tell us your name in due course. So we'll end on a mystery. Thank you for joining us, Simon. And I'm Rachel Whiteford, joined by Linus Brostrom, of course, and of course Hugo Louise on the cameras. This has been RaceSpotTV, and we'll see you next week.